The latest. Thank you for all love and support. I appreciate you all. It is only the African that leaves his or her people to be serving the interests of others. When other people are doing everything possible to cover and work together as a people, we are rather leaving ourselves and we are working in the interests of other people, making sure that whatever that we will do as a people, we have people in our midst to determine what we should be doing in order to please them. We've seen EU, we've seen other organizations that are protecting their people. No matter their differences, they still come together collectively to work together. But African Union that was created for the purpose of protecting the African is doing otherwise. After Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso left the ECOWAS bloc, the next organization we are waiting for them to leave is African Union. Because we don't see the reason to which we should be in an organization that is not fighting for our interests. But all in all, Captain Ibrahim Traore is giving us good news. According to him, they don't know whether they are in African Union or they are out. Because after they have decided to fight for freedom and they rose against them, gave them sanctions and all that, they don't know whether they are with them or they are out. Because they don't involve them in anything. And the reason to which they haven't made the announcement of leaving the bloc is because they don't want to move out and then they'll find something else to say and we the people wouldn't understand and will buy into it and rise against them. So they are just following them step by step. They will give dates that they are coming for them to talk about this, talk about that, and they will never come. So they want us to understand what is happening before the final announcement. And with what he's saying, you can just see that they are already out of the organization. It just left with them to come out with a final announcement like they did with ECOWAS.
With your permission, Dieudonné, I'd like to ask you a question about your relationship with another organization. What are you still doing in the African Union?
Good question. So I said that our situation with the African Union is so passive that we don't even know if we're in the Union or not. We've been suspended for a while now and no one talks to us. It's really complete radio silence. So I don't even know if I'm in the Union or not.
But shouldn't we also make a statement by taking a historic step, as was done with ECOWAS, by slamming the door on an institution that clearly doesn't serve much purpose?
I had a discussion with a diplomat from that organization, and afterwards we experienced the appointment of a so-called mediator. The president of Burundi, who was even supposed to come here last week, I think, but then there was a scheduling issue with us and we're waiting for him. We want to hear from him because we ourselves want to know why he's behaving this way. Because we don't want to make a decision without knowing their motivation. Why did they decide to demand this from us? Why are they behaving like this towards us? If we know their motivation, then if we leave, we could explain to our people, here is what they said, here are the reasons, and so we decide to leave. It's the same thing as with ECOWAS. We left, but if someone asks us why we left, we can explain it to you. But today, if we leave the Union and we're asked, we don't know why they suspended us. Why are they behaving like this? Sure, they said that we did such and such, but as of today, I thought, You
can also leave because you feel that it's an organization that works against Africa's interests. I don't think the African Union can take a revolutionary stance like the one you're leading.
Out of respect for certain people, that's why, as the mediator who was appointed and who has already sent his envoy to get in touch with us, we are waiting for him. It's really out of respect for this president. We are waiting for him. Let him come, let him address the dispute, let him tell us what there is, and we will tell him the conclusions of our discussion.
Mr. President, let's move on to the Black Sea and Russia. So science is the art of these instruments. You have done scientific studies. So during one of your visits to Moscow, you asked the Kremlin leader to teach us how to fish instead of giving us fish, to transfer technology to us. Now, I think today everyone agrees that relying on outside support can no longer continue. So where do we stand today regarding this technology transfer? Because you mentioned right away to your colleagues that one day we will even manufacture our own weapons. So where are we currently with this technology transfer?
I think they have clearly received the message. I stated it openly in 2023 during the St. Petersburg summit. We were given wheat. We shouldn't have to go and ask for wheat again. We need to be able to do it ourselves. If we are given fish, we need to learn how to fish. I think that With the initiatives we are developing, we have asked Russia to offer a certain number of scholarships to students so they can go and learn science. They agreed. So there are already people who have gone to study in certain specialized fields. If you look at the creation of the Atomic Agency, we already have students whom we sent last year who are currently training in the atomic field, which is an advanced technology. We will continue to send more every year. So there are several other fields where we have requested training. It's not just Russia, it's the whole world. We've even requested specialized training from China and sent students there. We're going there as well. Basically, we're reaching out everywhere we can to develop technologies and send students for formal training.
So, geopolitically speaking, well, the captain president is going to betray me today and has put Burkina into orbit just like in the old days. How does it feel today? For a country like Burkina, a small captain, what does it mean for you politically to be at the pinnacle?
Do you
still have your head on your shoulders?
Absolutely, my head is still on my shoulders. It's a burden to see that it's a global mission that has been entrusted to us. To see that everyone is interested in Burkina. I wouldn't call it pressure, but it is a burden. It's a responsibility. And we have to take it on with all the necessary focus. We don't have the right to fail. Whether we like it or not, we are going to follow the will of the people because they are the ones who have asserted this. So as you said, we've seen Burkina in orbit and we are working to keep Burkina on this trajectory. To be the country of upright men, to be the model country, to be the country that will move out of this underdeveloped situation, to become in a few years a highly developed country, to achieve a miracle, because that's what people truly aspire to. And also to be able to contribute our voice and everything we have for the happiness of the world, if I may say so.
Since you became head of state, you have traveled very little. The only country in Africa you have visited is probably Russia, if I'm not mistaken. And we've seen your counterparts. And we saw your African counterparts in the United States posing for a sort of class photo with President Trump. And I'll share a comment from a friend of mine who said that Captain Traore would never have accepted that. Is that true?
Listen, I don't travel much anymore, as you mentioned. And I went to Russia twice for very specific purposes. It may be that I turn to other partners for very specific objectives. Other than that, I don't plan to travel around the world like others do. Because for me, you have to stay focused and work for your country. President Trump himself said, America first. It's America first. He works for the interests of Americans. So I work for the interests of Burkina Faso. If I have no interest there, what would I go there for?
So one of the major current geopolitical issues is, of course, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. We see states taking a stronger and stronger stance. We've seen Western European states, to name them, say that they will recognize. And that's a strong signal, the Palestinian state. But as usual, Africa is almost silent. It is in a wait-and-see position. From Burkina, can you give a position that helps us understand a bit about what Africa thinks regarding what is happening today in the Gaza Strip?
I can't give you a position that shows what Africa thinks.
Certain matters. For certain African leaders?
Because many African leaders have a different way of seeing things. That's Africa's misfortune, if I may say so. We are not united. We don't see things the same way. Some are afraid, some are hesitant, some are there for the interests of other people. Listen, the West brought in people who grew up there, did everything there, and then made them heads of state in Africa. So they're the ones who control all of that. And so Africa can't have an opinion. But I know that deep down in each and every one of us, no one would want to see what's happening over there happen in their own country. But unfortunately, on the African continent, there's a similar situation in Congo. What are we even doing for Congo?
The Democratic Republic of Congo.
How many millions of deaths has it been, and for how long? We ourselves are at war. Have you seen any African countries even speak up for Burkina in the past 10 years? It's rare, it's rare. So Africans have this problem. While when someone in Europe sees they have a problem, everyone is united, people manage to quickly find solutions. It's the same in the United States. But Africa has this problem. You see, we've been fighting for 10 years. You haven't heard anyone raise Burkina's voice at the level of international institutions, nor Mali's, nor Niger's. Our people are dying, and it's not their problem. Congo is dying, and it's not our problem. Last time I tried in one of my speeches to speak out. How many millions of deaths has it been? Look at Sudan, see how they're tearing each other apart. There are so many conflicts on our... We're already struggling, and we can't even make our own voices heard. So how are we going to speak up for others? So we Africans need to come together.
They want to make us follow them in a pattern that when they take decisions, we will understand why they did that. And what Captain Ibrahim Traore is saying is superb, because if they should hurry up to denounce this organization, majority of us wouldn't understand. And Yellow Papa will find another means to rebrand this, to turn us against Captain Ibrahim Traore. Even with this joy that we are having and the freedom we are fighting for, majority of us still don't understand what we are doing. So you still have people who are buying into Yellow Papa's narrative and they still do not support Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso. A lot of us don't understand that the organizations that we have are not fighting for our interests, whether ECOWAS, SADC, and African Union as a whole. They are doing things based on what their masters want. Like the ex-chairperson will tell us that 70% of whatever that is happening in African Union is funded by their Western partners, their masters, you understand? When they are giving them money, they are no longer whatever, they are partners. But when it is the other way, then they know the right words to use to describe them. Majority of us don't have this information. We don't know what is actually happening in these organizations. So they are very tactical and they know how to take decisions so that they see us to be their joy, their strength, like Captain Ibrahim Traore said. We are the ones that are giving them hope. Their strength lies in us, and that is why they do not fear, because they know we will always be with them. And for them to continue to have us with them, they need to take their time in doing certain things so that all of us will understand when they finally do something. This is amazing. We are just waiting for them to say they are no longer there. But looking at it, they have already packed their things out of African Union, just waiting to see African Union. And they have all the evidence. They have the things that African Union itself decided to do and it didn't do. And we now know that this organization is not for our interests. And that is why instead of them to rise up and fight for Africa to become a better place, fight for Congo, fight for Sudan and other things, they are rather fighting for the size of the map of Africa. Is this an organization? When we are hungry, when they are taking our resources out of the continent, when we are having people that are displaced in Africa, that we need these people to fight. Have you seen where that union is channel its energy to? Look at what is happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So that's the latest around the world and in Burkina.